Oh God, we're all f***ed. The wildfires ravaging across California are enough for the officials to have to deal with. But we all know the only thing that spreads quicker than fire are internet conspiracy theories.
Raging wildfires in California, Oregon, and Washington state are burning out of control at this hour. At least 35 people have died. Officials describe conditions as, quote, apocalyptic.
As if the fatal massive wildfires weren't enough to contend with. Well, now officials in Oregon are having to plead with residents to ignore a QAnon conspiracy theory that is quickly spreading online. The false claim says Antifa is to blame for starting the fires.
A Clackamas County Sheriff's deputy has been placed on leave after a video went viral of him falsely claiming that anti-fascists started fires in Oregon.
Antifa okay,
Right.
are out causing hell.
Right.
And there's a lot of lives at stake, and there's a lot of people's property at stake because these guys got some vendetta.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. People will always find a group to blame a disaster on. Yet many of these conspiracy theorists see no consequences, like getting arrested or having to sit through a Steve Bannon interview. But hey, not everything is all bad, because people in prison right now might be getting a second chance.
Well, some inmate firefighters who are working the front lines on our California wildfires now have a chance to capitalize on that experience after they're released from custody.
Governor Gavin Newsom signing into law what will give some inmates a shot at careers in firefighting after completing their sentences.
Thousands of prisoners that are on the front lines, that are near the end of their time in prison, that are getting credits, and want the opportunity because of the training they're receiving. This bill that I'm about to sign will give those prisoners hope of actually getting a job in the profession that they've been trained.
This is great to see, honestly. It's just a shame Donald Trump hasn't already gotten thrown into prison, because instead of putting out controversies, he could be putting out fires. Now here's the thing. These fires are not the only natural disaster Mother Nature has thrown at us.
Hurricane Sally is expected to make landfall as a Category 1 tomorrow, producing heavy rain and a potentially life-threatening storm surge. States of emergency have already been declared in Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana.
The slow-moving storm is packing winds around 100 miles per hour. It's expected to drop nearly 2 feet of rain.
For only the second time in recorded history, 5 tropical cyclones are churning in the Atlantic at the same time. We're running out of letters to name them, so soon we'll be using the Greek alphabet for storm names.
Geez, first wildfires and now another hurricane? I mean, at this point, Mother Nature is just waving a big sign saying, climate change, danger. But just like Trump and his children, he doesn't seem to care.
With less than 50 days until the election, President Trump and Joe Biden are clashing over climate change. While meeting with California's governor, the president downplayed the role of climate change in the wildfires ravaging the region. His Democratic rival blasted that attitude.
Donald Trump's climate denial may not have caused these fires and record floods and record hurricanes. If you give a climate arsonist 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised if we have more America ablaze?
We want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
So while life here on Earth is getting crazier and crazier, it's time to see how other life is doing.
Astronomers have uncovered possible new signs of life on Venus.
Its surface is hot enough to melt lead, and it's cloaked in clouds of toxic gas. But scientists now believe something could be alive on Venus, or actually just above it. Professor Sarah Seeger, along with a team of international scientists, spotted a molecule called phosphine in the planet's atmosphere using giant telescopes.
Finding phosphine, it really leaves us with 2 equally crazy ideas. One is that there is some unknown chemistry, and the other one is that there's some possibility there might be some kind of life-producing phosphine on Venus.
Wow, the human race really does cover the whole spectrum, right? On one end of the spectrum, we've got this. And on the other end of the spectrum, we've got scientists possibly discovering life on another planet. If this is true, and scientists have discovered life on Venus, it would be life-changing forever. Although, it does sound a little suspicious. A microscopic thing that if humans come in contact with will change the human race and life as we know it? Where have I heard of that? Breonna Taylor, the woman who was shot and killed by undercover cops in the middle of the night while asleep. And after months and months in protests, Louisville has finally decided to make some changes.
Major development in the killing of Breonna Taylor. Attorneys for Taylor's family say they have reached a settlement with the city of Louisville, Kentucky. That settlement includes a financial agreement and police reforms.
$12 million in a settlement, a civil settlement for Breonna Taylor, but the lawyers and the mom and everybody there making it clear that this fight is not over. They did announce, though, that along with that civil settlement, there are a number of police reforms, including a housing credit for officers to live in low-income housing, to live in the communities that they police, creating a program to include social workers for assistance on police runs, commanding officer to review search warrants before the officer seeks a judicial warrant. Those are some pretty serious reforms for the police department.
This is awesome, but like they said, the fight is far from over. At the end of the day, Breonna's family still has to suffer the guilt and loss of one of their own family members. And it's the police, in my opinion, that should be paying the settlements, not the city. But all around, the police reforms that they're implementing are great to hear. Yes, would it have been better to have these police reforms without needing to lose any lives? Absolutely. But if it prevents people from losing their lives in the future, then we seem to be heading in the right direction. You know who's taking some big steps right now? Barbados.
Queen Elizabeth is being removed as head of state in Barbados. The Caribbean nation plans to become a republic next year, 55 years after declaring independence from Britain. The island's governor general says the time has come to leave the colonial past behind. It'll be the first time in 3 decades the monarch has been removed. The Queen is head of state in more than a dozen countries formerly under British rule, including Australia, Canada, and Jamaica.
Another country, in one form or another, is cutting themselves off from Great Britain. In Barbados, it was essentially them just ghosting the Queen. And in America, it was done through a musical number. COVID-19, the one topic that always manages to sneak its way into the script, even when I think I'm done writing. Since the onset of the virus, we've learned that the easiest and best way to stop the spread of this virus is to just simply wear a mask. And even though there's a day coming up where we're all going to dress up and wear masks that we can't even see out of, people just don't seem to get it.
More than 1 week since schools have reopened in Washington County, the Liberty Action Coalition hosted a rally in front of the school district building this morning. Up to 1,000 people showed up, saying that children being forced to wear masks in classrooms is illegal and even unconstitutional.
Now hundreds have gathered here in front of the Washington County Administration building, calling for the end of a mask mandate.
If we want to wear a mask, that's fine. We can take care of ourselves.
When George Floyd was saying, "I can't breathe," and then he died, and now we're wearing a mask, and we say, "I can't breathe," but we're being forced to wear it anyway.
I'll tell you another reason I hate masks. Most child molesters love them.
Growing concerns over COVID clusters, especially on college campuses. In Ohio, police cited several people at a house near Miami University during the Labor Day weekend. Body camera footage captured a stunning exchange between an officer and a student.
I assume you probably know where I want to talk to you.
Just too many people.
Well, do you know what the ordinance is?
10 people.
Yeah. How many people are in the house?
20.
20 people inside? Yeah, you might want to start clearing them out, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've never seen this before. There's an input on the computer that you tested positive for COVID?
Yes.
When was this?
This was a week ago.
Are you supposed to be quarantining?
Yeah, that's why I'm at my house.
Do you have other people here and you're positive for COVID? That's what we're trying to prevent, man.
Yeah, I know.
We want to keep this town open.
What the issue is. That's why I was staying home.
What the fuck? Like, this guy is embarrassing my entire generation right now. And the sad thing is, he's not the only one. Problem is, as long as people do things like this, COVID-19 will be at the forefront of our minds and will be a constant issue. And as long as Trump is president, people will continue to do that. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quick announcement, I am uploading a video tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow if things go smoothly. So be sure to go check that out. I teased this in the vlog and I'm going to tease it here too. So if you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to stay updated because there are some exciting things that are going to be happening on the channel pretty soon. And yeah, other than that guys, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to stay updated with the channel. Let's hope to God that this video doesn't get taken down. Have a great day whenever you're watching this and I will see you guys in the next one.